Step 1.
Place a long shank hook into the jaws of the vise, start the tying thread at the hook eye, and cover the shank with tying thread. Trim away the excess fiber here. And we want to cover that shank entirely to give a good base for the fly to be constructed upon. And bring the tying thread back up to the hook eye. Again, we want to have a nice, smooth, even foundation.
Step 2.
I'm going to take some fine copper wire and bind it in place along the near side of the hook. We're going to counterwind this rib, and tying it in this manner aids that process.
How does it aid it?
It just, the first wrap places itself right where you want it to be.
Step 3.
Next, we're going to take a pheasant rump feather that we stripped all the fluff away, and we're going to remove 10, 12 fibers off the side of the feather and even them up as best we can, and then tie them in place so they protrude out the front of the hook, and the overall length is about equal to the length of the hook. So we use a couple of wraps to get them in place, and then using our thumb and forefinger, tease and massage the fibers into place. Be careful you don't pull them. And we'll bind them in securely when we're happy with their position and trim away the excess.
Step 4.
I'm going to take some tapestry wool, red coloration here, and grab one end and pull on it so we break it into two distinct lengths of fibers. We want to unravel it because if we use the whole strand, A, we'll end up with a fat body, and B, it tends to bulk up and lay in a round formation. We want this to lie flat. So we're going to trim off the ends to even it up, and then bind it in place directly behind the pheasant rump and secure it in place directly on top of the hook shank. And then we're going to carry our tying thread forward up to the hook eye again.
Step 5.
And then we're just going to wind the yarn forward, close touching turns, and trying to make a flat, narrow body as best we can. And keep the natural profile of the food source you're trying to imitate in mind.
So just because we think it would be nice and fat and juicy to eat, it's not necessarily what the trout want.
No, they're used to eating small things, and then when they've been seen a few flies, they can get quite fussy.
Step 6.
And then we're going to take our copper wire and counterwind the wire over the body. And again, this adds durability, and in this material such as yarn, it will stand out. If we went the same direction as we wound the yarn, the wire tends to disappear within the body material and it's not as visible. Again, we just want to get into a good rhythm, not really worried about exact replicas here. We just want to suggest segmentation, add a little durability, and a little attractive glint to the fly that makes it stand out so the trout can hone in on it. Then we're going to take our wire and twist and break it.
Step 7.
We're going to take our pheasant rump fibers and kind of massage them, and then using our forefinger, push them back over the fly and try to disperse the fibers equally around the entire body of the fly. When we're happy with the position, we're going to secure them in place.
Step 8.
What do those little feathers do?
Well, some might think they suggest legs, but if you look at a picture of a chironomid larva or actually catch a natural, they don't have any legs, but they move in the water and suggest the vigorous head-to-tail lashing motion that the larvae move through the water column. They're quite feeble swimmers.
Step 9.
And then just to finish the fly, we're going to take our thumb and forefinger and pinch and train the pheasant rump fibers to trail down the body.
Step 10.
I'm going to apply some head cement for added durability, a step we should do on all flies. The completed yarn worm, a variation of a Jack Shaw pattern. Jack is one of the first to tie flies specifically aimed at imitating stillwater food sources.